Hello everyone and welcome back to my video. So for this video, I'm showing you how I do my go-to party makeup look. And this is just one of my go-to looks. So if you want me to make this into a series or post the other ones, please like or comment on this video. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this video. As you can tell, I've already applied my foundation and my eyebrows, but only on the upper half of my face. And I've also primed and set my eyelids so we can jump right into the eyeshadow. For this look, I'm using the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe and the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. First, I'm taking the lightest shade from the Soft Glam palette and I'm applying this all over my brow bone. This will give my brow bone a more defined and lifted look. Then I'm going to set my eyebrows in place using the Clear Brow Gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this is going to help my eyebrows stay in place. Next, I'm taking the Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm using this warm caramel shade called Butter. I'm placing this all over my crease and it's going to act as my transition shade. Next, I'm using this shade right here called Pooter, and I'm also gonna apply this on my crease, as well as I'm blending this to my outer corners and down to my lash line. With this color, I'm using little by little and just blending in more as I go. I'm also dragging my eyeshadow out to the ends of my eyebrows to give my eyeshadow a V shape. For the next eyeshadow, I'm using this deeper brown shade called Mocha, and I'm starting to blend this in on the outer part of my lash line and dragging it out, kind of like this smoked out winged eyeliner. I'm really trying to smoke this color out as I'm also going to blend this in towards my outer crease. And here I'm just taking whatever is left on my brush and just dragging the color to the inner parts of my eyes. This is just going to create some depth to the cut crease, so the cut crease will look a little bit more dramatic and lifted. Here I'm just repeating the same steps while applying more of that same eyeshadow, just to darken up the outer corners while also defining the eyeshadow shape. And then I'm going over any harsh edges with a large fluffy brush. Then it's time to repeat the same steps on the other eye. And so far, this is what it looks like. Don't worry if it looks a little messy. We're going to clean it up later. Next, I'm using this dark brown shade called Central Park, and I'm going to be focusing this on my outer V only. And I'm also going to be dragging this towards my lash line as the previous shades that we applied. Now it's time to cut the crease. While cutting the crease, I'm trying to be careful not to go over any of the eyeshadow that we did and apply it on the lash line. Here, I'm blending the concealer in with the eyeshadow on my outer corner. This will help the eyeshadow blending on the concealer a little bit easier later on. This will also help your cut crease look a little bit more blended and faded. Next, I'm taking the lightest shade that we used from the Soft Glam palette and I'm patting this all over my cut crease to set the concealer. Next, I'm taking the two darkest shade that we used on our outer corner and just reapplying that over the lash line and on the outer V. And make sure that it's blended towards the cut crease. Next, I'm going to take this Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadow in the shade Space Cowboy. This is such a beautiful, almost iridescent, dusty glitter eyeshadow, and I'm just going to apply this all over my eyelids. And don't worry if it gets on the darker brown shade. I actually prefer it that way, so it gives more of a dusted glitter look. Now let's move on to the eyeliner. The eyeliner I'm using is the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I'm just applying a thin line over my lash line to conceal the lash band that we're going to apply later. Now it's time to do the rest of our face. First, I'm going to take this clean makeup wipe and wipe away any of the excess product that might have fallen on our face. Here, I'm also shaping the eyeshadow line on the outer corners as I want to clean them up a little bit. Next, I'm taking my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream and applying this all over my under eyes. Then it's time for the face primer, and I'm using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I'm just applying this all over my face. For the foundation, I'm mixing my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation and my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. I'm mixing this on the back of my hand before I'm applying this all over my face. For the concealer, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape in the color Light Medium. Here I have to be super careful so I don't disrupt any of the eyeshadow with the concealer. For my powder, I'm using this Anastasia Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. First, I'm applying this all over my under eyes in a triangular shape, using a small dense brush. And then I'm taking the same setting powder and applying this all over my face with a large fluffy brush. For bronzer, I'm using my Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I'm applying this all over my cheeks and on my forehead and on my nose. For contouring, I'm using my Anastasia powder bronzer in the shade Saddle. And then I'm taking my setting powder and dragging it all over my jawline to sharpen up the contour a little bit. Now let's move on to the blush, and I'm using this MAC blush called Melba. And I'm just applying this all over my cheeks and a little bit on the tip of my nose. Then it's time to dust off the bake before we move on with the highlighter. First, I'm starting off with this ColourPop highlighter called Flexitarian, and I'm applying this on the top of my cheekbones and a little bit on the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose and my cupid's bow. And then I'm going in with this small detailed brush and just applying this on the inner corners of my eyes. And then I'm using another highlighter by Artiste Couture in the shade Cocoa Bling, and I'm applying this with a foundation brush only on the top of my cheekbones. This will really pack the highlighter on and give it this intense look, so I'm going in with a fluffier brush and just blending it out further. Then I'm taking this small detail brush and just apply the highlighter all over where we applied the previous one. Then it's time to set the face with some setting spray, and I'm using the MAC Fix Plus. Now it's time for some mascara and falsies. For mascara, I'm using the Lash Sensational by Maybelline. This is one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. It really lengthens and gives your lashes volume. For the false eyelashes, I'm using the Ardell Wispies, which has a super thin lash band and is super easy to apply. And now the eyes are all done. So let's move on to the lips. First, I'm using this MAC lip liner in the color Strip Down, and I'm just going to overline my lips with this. Next, I'm taking this Maybelline Color Sensational lipstick in the color Nude Embrace and applying this all over my lips. And I mean, you can leave it like this, but I really wanted to apply a lip gloss, so I'm using this Maybelline Vivid Hot Lip Lacquer in the color Unreal. And we're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.